These are your finalists for the PBA GEICO Open.
Semifinal number 1 pits Mika Koivuniemi, who has not been seen by our ESPN audience yet this season, and Mike Machuga, whose round of 8 match went to the final frame of Game 7 before he advanced. You'll need a huge trophy case for the bowlers in semi number 2. Parker Bone III and Norm Duke, they have a combined 50 titles. Will one of them add to their collection today? Stick around and find out.
And Randy, we start with Mika Koivuniemi. Mika, Player of the Year last year. You made the TV show in Japan, but your first USA TV show. Why have you had the struggles so far this season?
I felt I've been bowling good, but guys just keep beating me till this week, but now it's my turn.
Good luck to you. Mike Machuga, what did you learn from your experience a couple weeks ago before the Christmas break in Orange County? You made the finals but lost to Brian Voss.
Well, Dave, I learned not to split late in the game. You know? Bottom line is throw good shots when you need them, and that's what I'm going to try to do today.
Mika said he's going to take down your confidence. What do you say to that?
Ain't no pop. You can't take down my confidence. Come on now.
I think Mike Machuga's ready. Randy, first ever head-to-head matchup on TV. Mike Machuga, Mika Koivuniemi.
Lots of cash on the line today. Almost $250,000 total prize fund, $40,000 for the winner, $20,000 for the runner-up, and remember the all-important one-year exemption for the 2005-2006 season. Mike Machuga will start the match, which means he will finish the match on the right lane in the 10th frame.
Mike Machuga himself trying to avoid splits. He was talked about a second ago in the interview. Did just that. 7 pin up. What electricity in the building today, Randy. You can see there. Out of the great crowd we've got. Takes care of a 7 pin and a mark for Mike Machuga. Brings up Mika Koivuniemi. First time we've seen Mika on TV. And USA-based shows did make it in Japan. And told us last night he's run into a lot of pretty hot bowlers when it comes down to crunch time. Didn't like that off his hand at all, but still strikes. He looked down at the approach with some footwork leading up to our first Baby Ruth Real Deal matchup today.
And we're bowling on a tough pattern this week, and we'll get to that a bit later. The thing that really shows up here is simple, spare conversion percentage. Mika Koivuniemi, with that loft, can keep the ball on line and stay out of trouble. Avoiding splits, he's able to leave himself things he can make. Notice his ranking there at 9th. Shugs 46th.
Over the lofts. And it comes in way high. Just a 6-pin count for Mika. May have been thrown off a bit by the footwork issues with his first ball. Again, looking down at his feet.
He stuck the first shot on the right lane. This one, it just looks like he grabs a pinch. The ball overreacts down the lane, leaving him with the hardest spare non-split or washout that we have on the tour, the 3-6-9-10.
Big moment early for Mika, who covers nicely and earns his mark the hard way.
The spare's so tough because if you get it a pinch too far to the right, it hangs and you don't cover the back pin, the 9 pin, a little bit too far to the left, it overhooks and you chop the 3-9 straight back. Mika, perfect conversion.
Back to Mike Machuga now, who's really faced some tough bowlers on TV recently. December 19th, Orange County. Chris Barnes, as Mike is in the pocket perfectly. A win in the semifinals by 20 pins. Then he lost to Brian Voss in the finals. Now it's Mika Koivuniemi, last year's Player of the Year.
Mike Machuga's game is the envy of a lot of players on the tour. He's able to do a lot of different things because of his physical game allows him to go straight and hook it. A couple of weeks ago in Fountain Valley, we saw him hook it against Brian Voss. Right now, early on, going straight and firm.
Great look from our crew. from the lane to see how far right he was. 12-5 match play record, a 217.35 average. Really good matchup with Patrick Allen. 7 games in the round of 8. PA struck in 4 of the last 5 frames. Mike needed spare in a 9 count and ended up converting.
4th game they tied. They had a roll-off, which Patrick Allen won. Mike Machuga rebounded nicely, won the next game. Oh!
Late help across the pin deck. Number 10 goes down for Mika.
The Big Fin says, hey, take some of this, pal. Watch the head pin, sidewall, 10-pin. Get out of my face. Think Mika wants this shot? Watch this reaction.
First time, folks, believe it or not, Mika had made a round of 8 this week in Mesa. And he's all the way now to the TV show. Strike here. 4th frame. We've got a tie match. That's what we got. Great pin action. Mika Koivuniemi. He could be in for some big numbers today. Strike percentage leaders. It is the Big Fin on top.
Yeah, and with those stats there, it's kind of hard to believe that this is the first time he's made it past the round of 8.
18-9 all-time on TV. He's got a great win percentage, does Mika Koivuniemi, but his first USA-based TV show of the year. Machuga still continues to bid for his first title. Really high, and he knew it off the hand. You could hear him hoping that ball would grip a little bit at the end of our 39-foot oil pattern and help him out.
He started talking to himself as soon as he let go of it because he knew the ball was going to be left of target. He was asking for it to hold. That one didn't, leaving him the 3-6-10 a lot easier without the 9-pin being back there.
See how far left he is there, and does not get number 10. Look out. An open frame from Mike Machuga, which can be so deadly against a tough competitor like Mika Koivuniemi. Mike has been on TV 5 times and reached the finals 3 times. The last being in Orange County, California, Fountain Valley, just before the Christmas break this season. 0 for 3 in title games. Trying to get there, though. Need shots like that as he clears that ball. Rebounding off the open.
Mike Machuga says that he really likes this pattern, Dave, because he feels he has a lot of options. You see right now early on he's going straight from out. You'll see Norm Duke in our next match. He's going to be playing in and hooking it. This week gave you a lot of options.
Break down the chameleon oil pattern. Randy and I return from our upcoming commercial break, and boy, he did not like that ball at all off the release. With so much loft, Mika having his struggles.
Boy, he was in a real good spot after Mike Machuga's open frame in the 4th to take big time advantage of that. With a strike, he would have had a 3-bagger. Instead, he throws it right through the break point, leaving the 1-2-4-6-10.
1-2-4-6-10 spare. So strange to see the head pin up at this level after a strike ball, and an open for him. The 2-pin stays up for Mika Koivuniemi. So each with an open frame in the first half of the match. Mike Edwards, his 1 show appearance this year, went down. Hall of Fame round Leno Monticelli in the round of 16. That was a 6-gamer. And he rolled over Jim Pratt to begin his week. Mika's average this week, 220.63 heading into this TV show. Almost had the disastrous 7-10.
Wow. Check this out. This could have been a strike on any other day, but today, 2 pins leaning on the 10. The 10 barely falls late.
Mika trying to break a 15-event winless streak. 7-pin goes down for a guy who made 7 TV shows last year, tied for first with Chris Barnes. In one of those shows, Mika Koivuniemi had a 300 game. 3 bowlers on today's show have the perfect games on TV. At the 1998 ABC Masters, Parker Bowen struck 12 strikes together for a major perfecto. 2003 saw 2 televised 300s. The first in Tacoma in January, where Norm Duke amazed a big crowd at the Emerald Queen Casino. And in December at Windsor Locks, Connecticut, Mika Koivuniemi overcame a blizzard and Jason Couch as he bowled the last televised 300 on the PBA Tour. The PBA on ESPN is brought to you by Odor Eaters with unique Zorbatex technology. Destroys foot odor and absorbs sweat on contact. By Miller High Life, to live simply, proudly, boldly, manly. This is the High Life. And by Dexter, the #1 bowling shoe in the world. What's your size? Spectacular local beauty of Arizona, the 50th event in this great state. Norm Duke has won 3 times in the state of Arizona of his great career. Perhaps number 4 comes today. Welcome back. Second half of the PBA Tour season. Dave Ryan, Randy Peterson with our entire crew. Folks, a change in format that starts in the second half of our season on the PBA Tour. Instead of round of 64, best of 7 match play, things have changed now. The first round, we have some qualifying going on. Some 7-game blocks, 2 of them, in fact. So it's changed, and really for the better for the fans, Randy. It gives a chance to watch all the bowlers at one time, and 11 a.m., 6 p.m. local start. You can see all 64 guys at once, maybe about a 4-hour run at it.
Yeah, I think for the fans, obviously, it was a really good move. I think it's interesting that the PBA chose to change the format midway through the season. But if you ask the players, I think most of them like the change. When you start adding more games, that's what the players are accustomed to doing. They're professional athletes that train to bowl a lot of games. And anytime you have a tournament that involves a lot of games, the cream always rises to the top.
And a very challenging oil pattern again. It's Chameleon this week. Crocodile Randy, you ready for it?
Okay. Chameleon pattern, 39 feet. And really, there was no set place on where to play. 39 feet here, and if you asked anybody where they played, you got this. Most of the times early on in the mornings, the players started kind of straight from out, and then they kind of migrated to the middle part of the lane. But today, you see Mike Machuga playing here. You see Mika playing here. You're going to see Norm Duke playing here. And Parker, he'll be firing up around the second arrow from the outside part of the lane. Tough pattern.
Chris Johnson had that 1-300 game, the Rookie of the Year. The GEICO Gecko is here.
6-foot gecko, crikey!
Oh, I love that music. And we hear behind the oil pattern breakdown. Here is Mike Machuga returning. That's high again, almost crossed over Brooklyn's side there. And a 7-pin count for Mike. 6, 9, 10 remain.
Well, you can see that he's playing further in on the right lane than he is on the left lane. He had a chance to take a 12-pin lead there with a strike. And he chops another.
Oh, my
spare.
goodness. Another open for Mike Machuga, who spoke to us last night so confidently, Randy, about his lane management on TV. We'd like to welcome aboard. Denny's is our official family restaurant of the PBA Tour. So our road to the PBA Denny's World Championship sees Danny Wiseman with a huge start to our season. Made the round of 8 here in Mesa, winning the World Championship to begin things. Norm Duke, number 4.
I got an issue here.
And Mike Machuga is 8 in points.
It's a real seesaw match. I mean, every time somebody has a chance to take a big lead, they open. Watch how much further Mike Machuga's playing on this left lane.
Mike has worked very hard with 2 of his idols, Brian Voss, Norm Duke. To try and make moments like this happen, where he's got to make adjustments as the TV show goes on because the lanes break down under the TV lights much differently than they would in regular match play.
He gets a late chip on the 9-pin. And Dave, I think that's more so why the players like the additional games this week. It gives them more time on the lanes. It gives them 14 more games to learn how to adjust to the pattern as it's changing throughout the day.
calm and confident. Those are the words that Mike Machuga used with us last night. Now can Mika take advantage of another open frame? Here comes the big fin. He's relocating with his family to Heartland, Michigan, about an hour from where they were in Ann Arbor. We've got two legends, folks, coming up. 50 combined PBA titles. Parker Bowen III, Norm Duke. That is our second semifinal. Big names here in Mesa in front of this huge crowd, overflow crowd, to begin the second half of our season. On lane 31, looking for a little help in his native finish, and he won't get it on the 9-pin.
The same lane that Mike Machuga just tripped that same 9 on. Mika doesn't get that break. And right now, could be in a little bit of a trouble. Not sure what that means, but I'm sure it wasn't thanks a lot.
His wife Lena back home. Children, Ida, who's in 6th grade. She's 11. Lydia is 4 years old, now in preschool. And according to Mika, little Lydia says, I'm no longer a little girl. I'm a big girl now, 4 years old. Maybe future bowlers themselves. I'd like to see a big win for Mika today. Takes care of the 9-pin. The PBA's top bowlers hit the lanes next Sunday afternoon as ESPN's coverage of the PBA Tour rolls on. The finals of the El Paso Classic. Will the Gecko be there is the question. PBA bowling on ESPN Sunday, 1 Eastern time. For more, log on to ESPN.com. That's 11 Mountain Time in El Paso, Texas, where we're headed next week. Can't wait to see beautiful part of that state.
You want me to sing the Marty Robbins song for you now?
Whenever you're ready.
No, never mind.
Max scores for each, bottom left of your screen. First on a strike, 8 frames, a tie. Back up.
This is where Mike Machuga was playing on the right lane. Notice how he goes high. This is where he's playing on the left lane. He just made that same move from the left lane to the right lane and struck. And when Mika left the solid 9, I said Mika was in trouble, and I'll tell you why. Mike Machuga can strike out to shoot 223. Mika Koivuniemi can only shoot 213.
Strike for a 10-pin lead. Didn't like it.
Oh, Michael, come on.
4-pin.
What you got?
But it's not a split. However, the door is open again for Mika in what's going to be a very tight finish. Machuga winless in 65 career events. First time ever he's made back-to-back shows. Orange County, here today in Mesa.
Dave, we have a possibility of a tie right now. Here's the situation. Mika Koivuniemi can strike out 9th and 10th frame and shoot 213. The best Mike Machuga can shoot 202. However, if Mika strikes in the 9th, strikes the first ball in the 10th, and goes 9 spare, Mika shoots 202.
He's done very well on TV. He's got major victories in his career. A couple of those. Player of the Year last season. He was brilliant. 7 TV shows. And Chris Barnes. Tied for the tour lead in that category. There's been 15 events without a tour win now. Reno of last season. For Major Mika. Can he get back?
Mika controls his own destiny from here on out. He set up the 10th frame beautifully with a strike in the 9th. Check this out. There's the loft right around 2nd and 3rd arrow. Ball holds line, goes dead flush. Mike Machuga knows he's behind the 8 ball now, Dave. One more strike here. Mika's in the driver's seat. 2 strikes in the 10th frame. He's a winner.
Mike telling us last night he was not going to concentrate on what his opponent was doing. He wanted to think about his game. Focus on that. Maybe a glance or two to see where his opponent might be playing in terms of which boards Mika would adjust to. That had to really hurry and didn't. 2-4-5.
This ball's overthrown. It doesn't grab the lane. He's trying to make it turn. doesn't happen, he leaves a 2-4-5. With a spare here and a strike on his fill shot, he'll shoot 193. Mike Machuga can double in the 10th to win.
How often do you see a head pin and a 5-pin left up in the same game by someone as talented as Mika Koivuniemi? Not very often. That is unusual.
This week we saw it a lot because of the difficult pattern.
Things are going to go right down to the wire. Mika telling us last night how pleased he was to finally be on TV after coming so close, as he mentioned in the interview. He's had some dramatic finishes. 15th at Orange County. 5th at Japan Cup. Machuga can't bear to watch. Big moment. 10-pin.
That fill shot there was huge because if Mika strikes there, it forces Machuga to double to win. Now Mike Machuga can go strike, spare, and we have a tie. Machuga still needs to double to win.
Wow.
And on a lane where he just made an adjustment.
He's got some crowd support, no doubt about that. Such electricity in the building today here in Mason.
He's got to be truly committed to this shot and truly believe that the adjustment he made on this lane is the right one.
Calm and confident. It's too high. And the big 4 is up. And that's it. Mika Koivuniemi,
Big 4 for the win.
As soon as he let go of
has
it,
got it.
he knew it was high as soon as it left his hand.
Good bowling, man.
Semi-final match will go